The Scotland national cricket team represents Scotland in the game of cricket. They play the home matches at the Grange, Edinburgh. Scotland became associate members of the International Cricket Council in 1994 after severing links with the England cricket team 2 years earlier. Since then, they have played in 3 Cricket World Cups and 3 ICC World Twenty20 tournaments. However, the first win in either of these events did not come until they beat Hong Kong in the 2016 World Twenty20. Scotland have also played in every ICC Intercontinental Cup tournament, winning the inaugural edition in 2004. Between 2010 and 2013, the team competed in the ECB 40 as the Scottish Saltires. Preston Momsen has captained the side since September 2014 and the coach is New Zealander Grant Bradburn, who took on the role in April 2014. History. Before ICC membership, the first recorded cricket match in Scotland took place in Alloa in 1785. It would be another 80 years, however, before Scotland played the first full match against Surrey in 1865, which they won by 172 runs. The first Scottish Cricket Union was formed in 1879, and the national team beat Australia by 7 wickets 3 years later. The Cricket Union became defunct in 1883, and Grange Cricket Club took over the administration of the game until 1909. The first match against Ireland took place in Dublin in 1888, with the Irish emerging victorious. They also played South Africa, the West Indies, an all-Indian team, and New Zealand before the start of World War II. 1948 saw Australia visit Scotland for 2 games at the end of the Tour of England. These games, both of which were won by the Australians, were to be the last international games for Don Bradman. The Don signed off in typical style, making a fine unbeaten 123 in the innings victory. Scotland first competed in English domestic cricket in 1980, when they competed in the Benson and Amp Hedges Cup for the first time. 3 years later they took part in the NatWest Trophy. The first Benson and Amp Hedges win came against Lancashire in 1986. Scottish cricketers. The most famous cricketers to have come from Scotland are probably the former England captain Mike Dennis, Warwickshire all-rounder Dougie Brown, and former England Test player Gavin Hamilton. Another great Scottish cricketer was B.R. Hardy, who was a major contributor to the successful Essex side of the 1970s and 1980s. Possibly one of the best spinners and certainly a respected journalist was the aptly named Ian Peebles, who was one of the Cricketers of the Year in 1931 alongside Don Bradman. The most infamous cricketer, a man who was vilified in Australia, was Scott Douglas Jardine, father to and inventor of body theory, which is well documented under Bodyline. Jardine was born in British India and died in Switzerland, spending most of his life in England. However, his parents were Scottish. He asked for his ashes to be scattered in Scotland and gave his own children Scottish names. ICC membership. In 1992 Scotland severed their ties with the Test and County Cricket Board in England, and gained associate membership of the ICC in their own right in 1994. They competed in the ICC Trophy for the first time in 1997, finishing third and qualifying for the 1999 World Cup, where they lost all their games. The 2001 ICC Trophy saw them finish fourth, losing a playoff game to Canada, but they won the 2005 tournament, beating longtime rivals Ireland in the final. 2004 saw Scotland first confirm themselves as one of the leading associate nations by winning the inaugural Intercontinental Cup. However, they did not progress beyond the first round in the 2005 tournament. Recent past. 2006 March 2006 saw Scotland embark on a pre-season tour to Barbados. They performed with some credit, although they only won one of the 6 games against Barbados. They owed much of the success to Dougie Brown, who re-qualified to represent Scotland internationally in 2004. They competed in the CNAMP Trophy in English domestic cricket in the early part of the 2006 English cricket season. They performed better than expected, winning 3 of the 9 games, and finishing 8th in the Northern Conference. In June, they played the first ODI since the 1999 World Cup when they took on Pakistan in Edinburgh. Without key players Dougie Brown and Navdeep Unia, they lost by 5 wickets. They finally got the first ODI win in the European Championships in August with a win over the Netherlands in a rain-shortened game. They again missed key players for some games in this tournament though, and thanks to the loss against Ireland, finished second in the tournament. During 2006 and early 2007, Scotland participated in the 3rd edition of the Intercontinental Cup. They beat Namibia by an innings in May 2006, but draws against Ireland in August and the United Arab Emirates in January 2007 meant that they failed to reach the final. In December 2006, they travelled to Test nation Bangladesh for a 2-match ODI series, the first outside the UK, but lost both matches heavily. In January 2007, after the Intercontinental Cup match against the UAE in Sharjah, they travelled to Kenya, first playing in a tri-series against Canada and Kenya in Mombasa, which they finished second in. This was followed by Division 1 of the World Cricket League in Nairobi, where Scotland finished as runners-up. They then travelled to the West Indies for the 2nd World Cup. They again lost all the games and failed to progress beyond the first round. Back in the UK, they competed in the Friends Provident Trophy, their only win coming against Lancashire. They also drew an Intercontinental Cup match against the UAE and an ODI against Pakistan in July was washed out. In July, Scotland took part in a quadrangular series in Ireland against the hosts, the Netherlands and the West Indies. However, the endeavour was not a success. They lost the matches against Ireland and the West Indies, with the match against the Netherlands being abandoned due to rain. At the beginning of August, Scotland were on Intercontinental Cup duty as they won against the Netherlands by an innings and 59 runs. They then drew with Ireland in a rain-affected match, only gaining 3 points however after a poor first innings display. India were Scotland's next ODI opponents in mid-August, which was shown live on BBC Scotland from Titwid, Glasgow. The match was reduced slightly to 46 overs after a couple of brief showers, but India won by 7 wickets, having reached the final of the World Cricket League earlier in the year. Scotland qualified to play in the 2020 World Championship held in South Africa. They lost by 51 runs to Pakistan in the first game, and did not get a chance to play their other Group D opponents India, as the game was washed out without a ball being bowled. In July 2008, Scotland played a tri-series against New Zealand and Ireland in Aberdeen, Scotland. Scotland beat Ireland but lost the match against New Zealand. In early August, Scotland participated with 5 other associate nations in the 2009 ICC World Twenty20 qualifier in Belfast. Despite an initial loss to host Ireland, victory against Bermuda secured semi-final slot, throwing off the disappointment of an unexpected loss to the Netherlands in the semi-final a few hours earlier. Scotland bounced right back back for a 9-wicket victory over Kenya to secure third place. However, with only 2 nations guaranteed to progress, qualification for the 2009 ICC World Twenty20 was only granted when Zimbabwe confirmed that they would not attend the tournament. On the 18th of August, Scotland played the first ODI encounter against England, hosting the old enemy at the Grange Cricket Club in Edinburgh. However, the match was abandoned due to rain after less than 3 overs of England's reply to Scotland's 156 ninths. In December 2008, cricket.Scotland, the governing body of Scottish cricket, took the historic act of giving 3 Scotland players central contracts. Bowlers Gordon Gowdy and Valdnell and captain Ryan Watson became the first full-time professional cricketers based in Scotland. 19 other cricketers have been offered part-time professional deals. Scotland participated in the 2009 ICC World Twenty20 in England in June 2009. They were drawn alongside Test nations New Zealand and South Africa in Group D, with both matches being played at the Oval in London. The first match, against New Zealand, was shortened to 7 overs per side due to rain. Scotland batted first and made 89 quarters, with Kyle Coutts top scoring with 33. However, 3 no-balls and a dropped catch enabled New Zealand to win by 7 wickets with an over to spare. In the second match, South Africa made 211 fifths, with AB de Villiers hitting 79 not out of only 34 balls. In response, Scotland were bowled out for 81, more than half of which was scored by Coutts. The 130-run margin of defeat was the second largest in terms of runs in a 2020 international. In 2010, Scotland took part in the inaugural ECB 40 tournament. Scotland competed in the qualifiers in the United Arab Emirates to compete for a place in the 2010 ICC World Twenty20 in the West Indies. They competed for a place with Afghanistan, Canada, Ireland, Kenya, the Netherlands, the UAE and the USA. The tournament was disappointing for Scotland, going out in the group stage without winning a single match. Present day and beyond. ICC World Cup qualifiers. During March and April 2009, Scotland attempted to defend the ICC trophy they won in 2005. To secure qualification for the 2011 Cricket World Cup, a top 4 place was targeted. They were also attempting to secure ODI status by finishing in the top 6. Scotland started the tournament badly by losing 3 of the 5 group games, with only the points earned against Namibia being taken through to the Super 8s. Scotland faced a difficult route to the World Cup. Scotland started the Super 8s well by beating the Netherlands in the first match. Defeats against Kenya and Afghanistan followed, the result of which threatened Scotland's qualification for the World Cup as well as the possibility of losing their ODI status if they finished out of the top 6. Victory against UAE in the last game, and an improved run rate, thanks to the 122-run victory, ensured a top 6 place for the Scots, securing ODI status until the next round of World Cup qualifiers. The Scottish team qualified for the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015 in Australia and New Zealand, but was eliminated after 6 straight losses out of 6 matches. In August 2014, Scotland played a 3-match series against New Zealand at Cambusdoon New Ground. In the first match, Grant Elliott and captain BJ Watling scored centuries and ensured that New Zealand won by 199 runs. Scotland conceded nearly 150 runs in the last 10 overs. Future Series tournaments. During the second half of 2016, Scotland will play the United Arab Emirates in both the fourth round of the 2015-17 ICC Intercontinental Cup and the fourth round of the 2015-17 ICC World Cricket League Championship. International grounds. Tournament history. World Cup World 2020. Other tournaments. Only the matches between Scotland, Ireland and the Netherlands in the 2006 tournament have official ODI status. Personnel. Current squad coaching staff. Director of Cricket, Andy Tennant. Head coach, Grant Bradburn. Assistant and AMP fielding coach, mental conditioning coach, Simon Smith. Fitness trainer, N.A. Head physiotherapist, Mari McPhail. Masseur, N.A. Performance analyst, Toby Bailey. Coaches. The following people have coached the Scottish national side at various stages. For some coaches, the exact dates of the tenure are unavailable, although key tournaments are noted. Records.